Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei rejected US President Donald Trump's demand for unconditional surrender on Wednesday as its UN ambassador said it considered the US complicit in Israel's attacks. More in this report.
Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei rejected US President Donald Trump's demand for unconditional surrender on Wednesday. It came as thousands fled intensified Israeli airstrikes in the Iranian capital, Tehran, prompting Turkey to tighten security at the border it shares with Iran. In a recorded television speech, Khamenei said Americans, quote, should know that any US military intervention will undoubtedly be accompanied by irreparable damage.
Iran's got a lot of trouble.
Trump has veered from proposing a swift diplomatic end to the war to suggesting the United States might join it. In social media posts on Tuesday, he mused about killing Khamenei and demanded Iran's unconditional surrender. A source familiar with internal discussions said Trump and his team were considering joining Israel in strikes against Iranian nuclear sites, among other options. Israel's military told Iranians to leave parts of the capital for their safety while it struck targets. It said 50 Israeli jets had struck around 20 targets in Tehran overnight, including sites producing raw materials, components, and manufacturing systems for missiles. The prospect that Trump could bring the United States into the war has raised the stakes since he abandoned a G7 summit and met his security officials in Washington on Tuesday. Iran's ambassador to the United Nations in Geneva, Ali Bahraini, told a news conference he already saw the US as complicit in what Israel is doing.
If we come to the conclusion that the United States is directly involved in attacks against Iran, we will start responding to the United States.
Iran has been exploring options for leverage, including veiled threats to restrict access to the Gulf through the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most important shipping artery for oil. Tehran has in the past threatened to close the strait, but has never followed through. While inside Iran, the biggest attacks since the war with Iraq in the 1980s have wiped out an echelon of senior leadership. Authorities have allowed fewer images of destruction to circulate than in the early days of the bombing, and a ban on filming by the public has been imposed. In Israel, sirens rang out warning people of Iranian retaliatory missile strikes. At Ramat Gan city train station east of Tel Aviv, people were lying on city-supplied mattresses lined along the floor. Among them, Tamar Vaiz, prepared for her second night in the makeshift shelter, alongside her 2 children.
I feel scared and overwhelmed, especially because I live in the densely populated area that Iran is seeming to target, and our city has very, very old buildings without shelters and without safe spaces.